My critique on the current mindset of many people in consulting, finance, and management. Hi everyone, my name is Johannes. I'm an expert and career coach for careers in consulting, in finance, and in management. And so far, we have helped more than 100 clients to take the next step in their career with our programs. And in this video, I need to do some real talk because we have discussions with people who want to apply to or work in, top firms in consulting, finance, and management. And as you probably know, the past years have been very difficult, or let's say the past month, right? So to give you a little bit of history, we came from a relatively normal market. Then we had like the COVID hitting in. Then we had, the lockdowns. After that, the industries, they boomed like crazy because there was a lot of money printing going on, and there was, a huge euphoria going on. And the companies like in consulting, but also in finance, and of course also the big corporates, they hired like crazy, and everyone thought like, hey, it's very easy, and we can have a great career here. Then suddenly, reality kicked in again, and now we saw a lot of layoffs in the market, some layoffs, from top consulting firms, also in finance, of course the big corporates, startups, and also of course hiring freezes. And when I speak to people, who want to apply for these firms or who already are working for these firms, I very often, hear that they complain, how bad the market is, that they say, hey, it's so difficult, I don't know what to do, etc. And I think it's time for some retalk, okay? And there are like three things that I really want to critique and that I think, we need to talk about, and also where I think, that we need to change in order to, make the best out of the situation. So I want to make this video to help you and to, avoid being or, stepping into these mindset traps, okay? And this is really important. So, I just want to talk about that in order to help you and, to make the best out of the situation. But here are like three things that I hear all the time and that I really critique. So the first thing that I critique is, that most people say, hey, we are now in a very, very, very bad market. But I think, this is just the normal market and this is just how the economy is going. So what we saw in the past few years, this was not normal, right? This was not normal at all. If you take a look, at, the times or like at the money printing rate that we saw, it was like crazy, what governments, what like the central banks, what kind of money they printed, what kind of money they flooded into the system. So this was not normal. And, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know, I went into these industries around 2015. So I still know a time, before COVID, before all the money printing, right? And many people who are working in the industries, they just know the time, from the past few years. And then they're used to, these like glorious times where, everyone was hired, where, they, MBB, for example, did active, headhunting to get more people into their recruiting processes. But believe me, this is not normal, okay? And what we see now is just a correction, to the overhype that we saw. So I think it's really important to understand and to develop the mindset that now it's a more normal situation than we had like 2 years ago, because now we are getting more into normal like hiring rates compared to, what we saw before COVID, okay? So accept that this is the reality, this is not a bad market, this is the real market. And the earlier you understand that, the more you can adjust your strategy and your career planning to it, and also understand what kind of action is really necessary to make it in these industries. Okay, so this is the first thing that I want to critique, that people think that this is not normal or that this is like a very bad market, but the reality is no, this is the normal market. Okay. The second mistake or the second thing that I want to critique is that I hear to left and right people complaining and blaming the market. Okay, so if they apply and they get a rejection, or they don't get an internship, or they don't get a position, they say, oh my God, the market is so bad, the market is so difficult. Or also, some people who don't get promoted, or maybe, even got laid off, they complain, oh, the market is so bad, the market is so bad. But the truth is, and the reality is, that First of all, there are still people, getting hired. There are still people getting promoted. Yes, the ratios, they changed. So of course, less people get jobs and less people really get promoted. But still, there are people getting promoted and are people getting hired. And the question you should ask yourself is, have you done everything possible to be one of these people? And when I ask people, hey, what did you do? What did you do to really get a job? Or, how did you prepare yourself? Or if I ask people who work in these industries, if I ask them, hey, what did you do in the past years, for your active skill development? Then very often, they say, yeah, I did, a little bit, but not really seriously. And this is a huge problem. We're moving from an employee market that we had, like where, the firms were actively sourcing and, everyone was welcome, and the firms tried to make the entire work environment as comfortable as possible for the employees. So we are moving from an employee market to an employer market. So this means that now the employers are on the more powerful party in this equation, okay? And this is really important to understand. We are moving from an employee market to an employer market. And this means that you as an employee, you need to change your thinking. You need to, double down your efforts. It's not that, the firm will, really, push you to get promoted and, carry you to your promotion. Now, no, you really, really, really have to work hard for it, and you have to work on yourself. And the only one, I know this is really hard to say, but I think the best mindset that you can have is that you don't blame the market, you don't blame the economy, you rather blame yourself, because this puts you in a position of power, because now you suddenly are the one, being able to change your approach. And I think this is really important, okay? So it doesn't matter if you apply for a job or if you are in a job. Don't blame the economy, don't blame the market, blame yourself and take responsibility. That's the best way of making progress and changing the situation. And the third critique that I have is that people in the past years, in my opinion, just didn't work hard enough, okay? And believe me, so I'm more like, I still was part of the old school days, like that we had like prior COVID. And there, the finance and the consulting industry, it was really tough, So long working hours were normal, there was a lot, very high expectations, There, was very normal, that you as a young professional, that you had to put, a lot of work to prove yourself. So this was normal. And I totally agree, that this was like kind of tough and maybe too tough. And I think it's a good direction, that we move more towards, hey, let's take care more about work-life balance, because like these are serious issues, okay? Having burnouts in consulting, in finance, this is normal, right? And I think it's really good, and it's a healthy discussion that we have about this topic. And I think I really support this movement to talk more about that openly, and to really provide some help for people who struggle with managing work and life. So don't get me wrong, this is so important. But I think what also happened is that we kind of forgot how to really work hard, because like the past years have been so easy. Like money was everywhere, like the deals were there in the finance industry, then the projects were there in the consulting industry, and it was kind of easy to get hired, okay? And I think that some people became too complacent, okay? And they forgot, or they didn't learn how to really work hard, and how to grind yourself up, and how to grind yourself to a point where you really achieve your goals, okay? And this is so important also as a mindset, that you learn again to work really hard, and to invest in yourself, and to learn the skills that you need to get to the next level. And these are the three things that I really want to critique. And yes, this was some real talk, and maybe I offended you, but this is like how I see the market currently. So first, just to recap, make sure that you understand that this current market environment, it's not a bad market, this is a normal market. Then second, don't blame the others, blame yourself, because then you're in a position of power. And third, learn to work hard again, okay? Because these are the only things that you can do in order to make the best out of the situation. And again, coming back to the introduction that I make this video to support you. And your key takeaway here should be that, you accept the situation, that you take responsibility and that you start working on your skills in order to still in this market environment, get the offer and get promoted, because this is the only way how you can change things. So if you want to do that, if you want to get a job in consulting, finance, strategy management, or if you want to learn the skills, to take the next step in your career in these industries, then please reach out to us, inform yourself about the Career Bootcamp at careerbootcamp.org. There you can also apply for a free career assessment where we sit together with you in a one-on-one and develop a strategy for you, discuss how we can help you. And with that being said, hope you have a successful day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye, Johannes.